So good afternoon, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoy your meal and the digestion will be nice and not so sleep. So I not introduce myself because already done. If you want, sorry. So I will present you this aircraft manufacturer point of view with some keys to show you how we developed quieter aircraft operation through technology and flight management. So first, I will give you a brief introduction about what is acoustics engineering activity at Airbus, how we manage that, how we manage noise management, how we answer to regulation requirements. And after that, we will go into the main subject with an overview of the current fleet and what we plan for the future, with in both sides, with design and noise abatement concept. Before concluding. So first, activities in Airbus is divided in two poles, in fact. We have a design office in Toulouse and Hamburg, mainly for acoustic topics, and with a test center in Toulouse to perform acoustic and vibration tests in laboratory. So our mission is to enable and support development of competitive and innovative aircraft solutions, but fulfilling acoustic regulatory requirements. So it's the first objective. And of course, customer expectation and business challenge. So it's based on three considerations. So first one, the community noise with aircraft design in flight, certification and operation. But the main point is certification, because you can't sell an aircraft if you not meet the requirements. And we also work on interior noise in cabin and cockpit. And we handle ramp noise issue. So we act during all the program life cycle of the aircraft, from R&T with many research projects and with engine manufacturer or DLR or every topics. In both on source improvement and also in noise abatement improvement. And we also work until the support into service with, of course, certification and development topics. So what about and why we work, in fact? So acoustics now is handled because we need, and it's mandatory to meet the regulation objective. That is to say, to meet the different chapter requirement. And this slide shows the evolution, the change in terms of challenge for the aircraft manufacturer, combined with the engine manufacturer, because it's important to note that the main improvements are due to, for the last 13 years, due to the engine improvement with the high bypass ratio increase. So you can see that the Airbus aircraft fit largely with the requirement. But how we do that? We act on two levers. First one, of course, the reduction of the noise sources. And also we work on the improvement of operational procedure in order to avoid the aircraft operating restriction, because for us it's the main point. After that, we have the land use planning. I don't explain this slide because everybody knows the balance approach, the famous one. But for do that, the important consideration to take into account the interdependency between noise emission and fuel economy, because everybody wants to reduce noise, but it's not the priority for everyone. In fact, we had to take into account the fuel consumption, the main pillar. And in the Airbus manufacturer side, we are also our balanced approach. It's that we need to take into account all these different objectives, and most of them are very contradictory, in fact, that you can't sometimes optimize the emission without decrease noise impact, or with we will see about the next future improvement in terms of technology on landing gear, for instance. But if you add some noise technology, you also add weight, so it's not so good for the aircraft. So sometimes we need to jeopardize all this consideration. So what we do in our side. So I will follow with an overview of our fleet with our new aircraft, and we will see the different optimizations that we achieve now. So first one, the current last aircraft with the A380. So with the increasing of the environmental challenge and the size, noise will be a main driver to design this aircraft in terms of architecture and technology, in terms of choice. So that we can see in this slide is that the first level is the engine. So we optimize the engine with new technology, with a zero splice inlet, for instance, that lead to reduce the fan noise. And we also increase the acoustic liner inside the fan, but also inside the engine. I hope otherwise maybe we will show you, but before that we have an overview of what we can do inside the engine. The second possibility is to optimize the airframe noise with new technology in terms of slat and flap, with the famous drop nose, that we improve the aircraft performance, but you also made improvement in the landing gear and flap slat setting, with an adaptation of with adapting, for instance, the flap slat setting for approach and to decrease noise. But we also work on the lower approach speed in terms to decrease the approach noise impact. Okay. And new in this plane is to implement in the flight management system some new abatement procedure, like noise abatement procedure enhanced for departure, takeoff, and to optimize some constraints. I will show you after that. And this leads to a remarkable achievement in terms of noise at minus 17 ppndB below chapter 4. So very large gap. And this slide shows you what we have in terms of noise status for the different certification points for lateral firewall approach. So you can see that we have a large margin. So we also meet the chapter 4 and 14. And but that I want to show you also is the quota count limit, because we talk about some levels, some measurement, how we can incent or constraint, have more constraint in terms of noise design is, for instance, the quota count, because they limit the number of available slots. And for us, it's important, and we take into account this new noise index, in fact, and it's for us a new requirement in our design in terms of noise, because we know that it allows more slot allocation. So because it's a lever to discriminate airlines and push them to buy some different aircraft. So this slide to show you the large improvement in terms of technology and also in capacity, because this shows you that between the A340 or -300 or -600, who have a big improvement, because with the double of the capacity, we can achieve the same level of noise. So for us, it was a big improvement, thanks all the technology I showed you just before. So next one is the A350, our next aircraft. So we inherit some the last new technology from the A380, but we also push and continue the design with new landing gear, with management of the design with cavity, for instance, new flaplet design, and with a seat slat. And we also push the different treatment inside the nacelle of the engine. And also we add some new avionic function in the flight management system as continuous descent approach management. And that allow not the avionic system because it's operational consideration, but we can have 14 PNDB below Chapter 4. So this slide again to show you our objective in terms of London quota count. So our objective was achieved because we wanted to have a QC 0.5 for approach. So we succeed in that. And for us, it's a real lever to control and to change the design against weight or fuel consideration. This slide shows you the noise benefit in terms of footprint. As some people showed you before, the A350 allow large benefit in terms of noise impact on ground due to the new engine and the new aerodynamic performance. So it leads to about -7 PNDB at takeoff, whereas they increase the number of passengers. So it could be interesting to have this. And the next aircraft will be the new short range with the single-aisle Neo for new engine operation, so option. And we can offer 2 different engines with CFM and Pratt & Whitney. And so the noise reduction are mainly due to this new engine because the high bypass ratio until 12 for one engine. And they really improve their design in terms of engine with a new inlet treatment. So it's a very improvement technology in terms of technology. And we also implement Sharklet to improve aerodynamic performance. So also we can see the gap between the last generation of single aisle. So this is a good opportunity for airlines to replace their fleet because we can see that with this new aircraft, they can have a real benefit in terms of noise if we implement some new tax or fees and noise limitation. Concerning the serial improvement, so I have 2 examples with the design of the implementation of the Sharklet that this new wing tip are now implementing in the single aisle, all the family. Remember well, the A321 is not again certified, but it will be next year, I think. So this can enhance the low-speed and high-speed aircraft performance. And with this new wing design, we can expect an improvement of 1 EPNDB in a takeoff condition. So now it's in production, so airline can buy this new technology. And the other example is about the fuel overpressure protector that, as we showed you before, produce 2 tonal tons. And thanks to these little things, you can erase the noise impact, and you can expect a benefit about 9 dBs between 15 and 50 kilometers from the airport. And this is also available in retrofit, so airlines can have this new technology. What we do for the future, we continue to work on landing gear with a new mesh technology. We also work on slat flap with we work on slap gap, on slap adaptive, on flap filler edge filler, and we also work with engine manufacturer on open rotor technology and ultra high bypass ratio to again reduce the noise on departure. And what we do in terms of abatement, noise abatement procedure. So as you know, we are focused only below 10,000 feet. So we focus on just departure and descent approach. And so we have, for now, different functions available on our aircraft as a noise abatement departure procedure, equivalent to the EKO-A, EKO-B procedure. And for the descent, we have the continuous descent approach, soon available on the A350. And we also work on steeper approach until 4.5 to be in line with the regulation, ICAO recommendation. But we also design specific function, for instance, for the A318 to land in London City with angle approach about 5.5. So we can adapt our aircraft to do that. But it's important to see that it's a multidisciplinary optimization. And it's mainly right for the departure because noise, if you reduce noise, you have a strong chance to increase the fuel. So it could be difficult to tackle the both objective. So what we do to optimize this noise abatement procedure, on the A380, we optimize the NADP procedure with a new software called ADAS that can optimize the procedure taking into account ambient condition or some aircraft constraint, and they can adapt the profile, the vertical profile of your departure with a new optimization in the flight management system where the pilots enter the new parameter, that is to say nose thrust, nose speed, and adapt the thrust ramp. So you can tune your procedure, and you will find this also on the A350. Concerning the approach and descent, so I told you we work on continuous descent approach. We try to optimize our different margin. We try to optimize the design of the function to facilitate the descent management for the pilots. And we also work on increased glide slope approach by giving some keys for the pilots to perform well the approach. And because we are sure it's the good way to reduce the noise, because as you can see in this slide, with the vertical profile, here the vertical profile of the approach, and below the impact in terms of noise, from the threshold here, you can see that until 25 kilometers, or nautical miles, you can expect a large benefit in terms of noise reduction. That 4, 5 dB, it depends of how your procedure is published. But we also start to implement in all our fleet the RNP capabilities. For in next month, the H380 will be certified to propose this capability to optimize the vertical and the lateral fly paths, and that could be useful to protect some different areas, sensitive area. As you can see, we already designed some new procedure. This example is for Cape Town, if I remember well, where we try to avoid some sensitive area. I don't remember the name, but we do this type of new procedure with Covadis, a new service capabilities in Airbus. And we also we have many efforts on new operation optimization. And first one, in terms of departure, we try to optimize the departure based on multi-criteria. That is to say, we try to take into account the policy of the airlines, if they want to optimize the fuel or the noise. It depends on what the measure they want to take into account. If they want to pay less fees or maybe to reduce their fuel consumption. And so this concept, MCDP, multi-criteria departure procedure, reached the TRL4 step. And we also work on descent with energy management strategy and on curved approach based on GBAS, RNP, and AirNav. So we also work with all this, the team involved in this subject, in CESAR especially. And in final approach, we focus on many points. First, on increased glide slope with another option with adaptive increased glide slope, where we try to take into account the ambient condition, the daily condition, to keep the aircraft in the same environment and to protect the safety and the speed on ground, near the ground. So it's an help for the pilot. So in this function, we also reach the TRL4 in the Clean Sky project. We also study the steep segmented approach. So we want to work with DFS and Lufthansa and Frankfurt to test this inside the GBAS, the new GBAS project, and study the display threshold because we know that we have many opportunity to reduce the noise impact thanks this capability. So to conclude, that we know that we made some remarkable improvement in terms of noise, but the reduction of noise at the source is now limited because we can't make numerous efforts on that. So we need to work with other operator, manufacturer, and aircraft air traffic controllers, because I know it's a collaborative subject, and we need to take into account all this new level. And also, don't forget that for now the challenge is to convince also the other part of the world, as to say the China, the India, that noise is also a big problem, because for now, they are not concerned about that, so they want just to reduce the fuel consumption. So for us, it's difficult to have a big and strong business case to develop and to convince in our side the funding for the different projects. So it's we can't focus on Frankfurt or Heathrow, because I know I only work with Frankfurt or Heathrow, but I can't do my business case with that, only with that, because Lufthansa is limited in terms of buying aircraft, you know, it's not Emirates or Chinese or India, so. Just my personal point of view.
Okay, thank you very much. But you are a European company. But I would like to remind you that you are a European company. That's for sure. You are not a Chinese and not a Saudi Arabian. So please stay there. If there is any question to Madame Moller, please, it's now the question to ask her any question. Please. Over there to the left and there. Can you bring some mics? Okay.
Yes, hello, Martin Stiller from Fraport AG. I have a question. I was wondering on your slide regarding future projects that you have the open rotor engine there. I know, open rotor engine, it's very efficient regarding fuel consumption, but regarding noise emissions, it's extremely loud. And I think it's no more, it doesn't have a big future regarding noise. Fuel efficiency, of course, but the open rotor engine, I think, for noise is not a good way to go.
It was not so clear, the question was not so clear received over here, so I repeat it. So the question was the open rotor concept. Maybe a very nice concept for efficiency and everything, but is it good also for noise reduction?
No.
That was more or less the core of the question.
Yeah, open rotor is not drive by noise consideration, it's drive by fuel consumption consideration. But we made many efforts to combine the both objective, and we try to implement some new technology as active noise reduction with blowing or many things about that. We take into account the noise, and for us it's a very big challenge, the new one. So it's not the main driver, but...
Okay, thank you. Another question, we have only time for one further question right now. Please, Meisinger.
I hope.
Thank you very much. You have presented an evolutionary picture of the development, which seems to stop at the level of the A380 or A350, because the A350 wasn't below the level of the A380. What about revolutionary ideas of Airbus, which Professor Werner has also asked for?
Yeah, what's amazing is that the A380 has better level than the other aircraft, is what you say, but the A380 doesn't play in the same course, in fact, because it's a quadri-motor engine, so it's not the same target in terms of noise level, so you have 4, 5 APNDB more margin, so you can just add this. And if you know the different curve in terms of certification limitation, the A380 are in the level of, okay? So thanks to his big takeoff weight, is in the level of, so he's not penalized by other additional noise limitation. So is that after, in terms of the A350, yeah, we just try to implement new, and because in terms of engine, The technology are very close, but we very work on the new avionics function to optimize the procedure. Okay.
Okay, merci beaucoup. And with that, we come to the next presentation.